You've seen the pictures, you've seen the highlights, you've seen all the hard work that members of the Adopt a River unit has done over the last year. And now to present to you the achievements of the Adopt a River program, please welcome the project manager of the AARP, Ms. Avril Alexander.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure today to present to you a review of the Adopt a River program over the last year. If we go back to almost a year ago, a bit over a year ago, in March 2020, the third annual River Conference took place on March 6. The theme of last year's event was Connecting the Dots, Mentoring Towards Sustainability. At that time, the Adopt a River program was very pleased to have held this conference, the third in the series, and we came off of a very successful conference that year, following which we were looking forward to the rest of 2020 and all of the exciting things that we had planned. However, life throws you some challenges at times, and certainly we were thrown a loop last year. This was our situation, as with the rest of the world. We were confronted by the reality of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were met with the changes that this brought not just to the country, but specifically to the Adopt a River program. The impact of COVID-19 on Trinidad and Tobago resulted in the closure of schools, in the banning of large social gatherings, access to rivers and beaches were prohibited, and there was a general shutdown of non-essential services. This impacted on the Adopt a River program. It led to outreaches to schools and communities having to be cancelled. There was a halt in initiatives by our stakeholders and partners, and they were unwilling to implement any programs, quite understandably. There was no access to rivers for water quality sampling and testing, and government workers were on orders to work from home, which included the Adopt a River unit. However, after several months of this, we all had to go back to regular life as best as we could. There was a new normal existing in the country. We were all acclimatized to washing our hands and using sanitizer. We had to wear masks everywhere. Within this scenario, the Adopt a River program got back to work as best as we could. In continuing our program, we started to do our community outreaches again. As you would note in the photos, everyone has their masks on. We had to follow protocols such as having hands washed or sanitizer used. We tried to respect social distancing as far as possible. And we were still able to reach out to communities. For example, we had outreaches in Santa Cruz, Pinal, Arima, with Yuri at the University of the Southern Caribbean, Maraval, Naruga, Diego Martin. So we were able to, within the confines of the COVID-19 pandemic, we still were able to go to the communities, meet them where they were, and share with them information on how they can best preserve and conserve their water resources. We had to become very innovative in our approaches. Since schools were closed, this was one of our target audience, our key target audiences, and we had to find a way to still reach out to them and still provide them with the education that was so needed. In this regard, we were able to create online outreaches, utilizing platforms such as Google Classroom, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. We were able to have outreaches with several schools across the country. This included Shiva Boys College, Faizabad Secondary School, Hope Anglican Primary in Tobago, and with several youth groups, the Matlat Matura, Greenville, Marcus St. Joseph, and Tamana youth groups. Social media also played an important role in enabling that the Adopt a River program continue to reach our audiences and share our important message. Utilizing social media, Instagram, and Facebook, we were able to hold several competitions, which included a quiz, where on a weekly basis we posed questions and persons were invited to respond to those questions, the winner being the person who responded correctly to most of the questions. We also had an art competition where we received entries online, digital entries, and was able to select winners in 3 age categories. Social media was also used to share messages on our watersheds through our Know Your Watershed series, which was very popular. We continued with our cleanups, and we added an element to this year, which was anti-littering signage. As you know, the Adopted River program is well known for having gone into rivers and even beaches and conducting cleanups of solid waste. This year, we attempted to also clean up some dumping sites. I'm sure we all have passed by communities or hillsides, and we've seen people dumping household waste, appliances, construction material, all manner of things down the hillsides and along the riverbanks. So this year we made an attempt to address some of these issues. We have photos there highlighting areas in Avril, Chagaramas, Diego Martin. The signs that we posted, we hope that these signs would assist in bringing awareness to people that dumping and littering is not an activity they should engage in, and we hope that it's an encouragement to others to also keep the place clean and to be vigilant, to look out within their community for persons who are going to be dumping and littering, and perhaps to serve as a sort of citizen watch to prevent these sort of incidences. We engage in several tree plantings over the course of the year. In commemoration of World Environment Day, there was a week-long tree planting project, which involved the First Peoples Foundation, Asa Wright Nature Center, the San Grande Conservation Group, as well as the Ambience Project and the Pinal Davy Foundation. We also conducted tree planting at Bonchonjo community in Moruga and at Moka, Maraval. Our Water Warriors training remains one of the key features of the Adopted River program. This training is what we utilize to educate our communities and our young people on water quality testing and sampling. Last year, we were able to work with the Astor Boys College, the Cashew Gardens Community Council, and other groups to enhance their skills and knowledge when it came to water quality monitoring. These groups will continue to monitor rivers or water courses within their communities and share those results with the Adopted River program. Of course, considering that we're still within the COVID-19 pandemic, there are some limitations in terms of access to our rivers and waterways, but we're working with groups to see, as far as possible, how we can continue to monitor the water quality. We've also engaged in some water supply projects. Most notably, the Adopted River program has contributed materials to the repair of a water intake in Brasso Seco and also in Matlat. These projects are still underway, and we hope to see completion within the current financial year. We were also able to install a rainwater harvester at the Mundo Nuevo RC School. This rainwater harvester will serve the school and the wider community, and we hope that it would reduce incidences of having to close school when there is no water supply, and in the case of any disaster or incident in the community, that this rainwater harvester can serve as an augmentation to the supply of the community. All of these initiatives which I've mentioned would not have been possible without the partnership of several organizations. I have a brief list here. It's not exhaustive, and I hope that anyone that we would have left out, it's not on purpose, but just for the sake of being brief, I've highlighted a few organizations here. We've worked with several regional corporations, including the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, Cuba, Talparo, Taproquet Regional Corporation, the Tunapuna Piapa Regional Corporation, and several others. The regional corporations have been of huge assistance to the Adopted River program. They offer us their labor, their technical support. They help us to reach into the community. So we are really appreciative of this collaboration, and we've been able to solidify this partnership over the last year, and we have many more initiatives planned with them. Habitat for Humanity has always been a great supporter of the Adopted River program, especially when it comes to our rainwater harvesting projects. We have several rainwater harvesting projects planned to be rolled out within this year in various communities, and this will be done in collaboration with Habitat. Some other groups we've worked with: the Mundo Nuevo Sport and Epic Club, St. Andrews Golf Course, Roseju Community Council, Cashew Gardens Community Council, many primary and secondary schools across Trinidad and Tobago, the UWI Biological Society, and the Forestry Division. Forestry Division has been very key to the Adopted River program, and they usually provide us with trees for any of our tree planting initiatives, and they also provide us with technical advice. So that was a look at what we've done over the last year. Looking forward, what can we expect? I'm pleased to announce that the Adopt a River program has secured funding from the Green Fund up to 2023. Originally, the program was to end at June 2020. However, the Green Fund approved the extension of the program to 2023, and we're very appreciative of this fact, and we look forward to continuing the important work that the program has been doing. So, as we have this additional period to implement the program, we're looking forward to expanding into more communities. I think that we've been doing well in reaching into the far corners of Trinidad and Tobago, as far as Matla, Toco, Moruga, Pinal, all over really. In Scarborough, Castara, we want to get into Charlottesville and so on. So we really hope that the program can expand its reach all over Trinidad and Tobago. And we also want to see the involvement of more groups. We want to have groups from the private sector, even government agencies, communities, schools. We're very open to having more collaborators and more partners so that we can have more projects on the ground within communities that are really addressing the concerns that we have in terms of managing our water resources. We're looking to implement more sustainable projects that are going to have a life well beyond the Adopt a River program if we were to end, and we hope not. But we want to have projects that we can go back and we can see, and that these projects are going to have a lasting impact on the communities. Some of these would include soil conservation and slope stabilization projects, water augmentation, such as rainwater harvesting, repairs of water intake, spring development projects. We also want to do some more waste management projects. As we go into this period that we're in right now, we see that there's a lot of political will in support of integrated water resources management. And this is heartening to get up to River program. We appreciate that there are efforts underway to ensure that our approach to managing the water resources is integrated and involves all stakeholders at all levels. Adopt a River stands ready to continue to play its role in this process and to support the process as far as possible. We're also encouraged by civil society within Trinidad and Tobago. We see a lot of groups, a lot of community groups and so on, NGOs that are active and taking a keen interest in our environment. And even some groups which are not environmentally focused are still having environmental projects. So we look forward to working with as many of them as possible. Also, the corporate sector is taking their corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they are seeking opportunities to partner with the NGO sector and communities. We too look forward to partnering with them because we believe that with the additional technical resources and financial resources that we'll be able to do so much more under the Adopt a River program. In closing, I want to invite all organizations, groups, businesses, individuals. I want to invite you to join us. Join us in our work. Join us in preserving our environment. Join us. Become an agent of change for our water resources. Thank you.